spotlights sweep across the faces of Hollywood's elite, but there's one man in the room who couldn't care less about the glitz. He's here to tell it as it is. While others polish their public image, he's busy poking fun at the very idea of celebrity. Ricky Gervais doesn't play by the rules, and perhaps that's exactly why people can't stop watching him. In a culture full of people trying to say the right thing, he's made a career out of saying exactly what he thinks. No filter. No apologies. Just the unvarnished truth, delivered with a grin that dares you to be offended. It's easy to think Ricky Gervais burst onto the scene fully formed, a firebrand with a sharp tongue and sharper wit, but his story starts far from flashing cameras and velvet red ropes. Born in Reading, Berkshire, in 1961, Ricky grew up in a working-class household filled with humor, heart, and the kind of real-life experiences that money can't buy. He was the youngest of 4 children, raised by a mother who taught him to laugh even when times were hard. His early curiosity often led him to question everything, including religion. One simple question, why does God let children suffer, was met with an answer that didn't sit right with teenage Ricky. From that moment, reason became his religion. That spirit of inquiry, that refusal to accept things just because he was told to, would become the backbone of his entire career. Before comedy called, Ricky had other plans. Studying philosophy at University College London, he teamed up with his friend Bill McRae to form a pop duo called Siona Dancing. Their music? Catchy, heartfelt, and, at least in the UK, completely overlooked. Though their single More to Lose flopped at home, it found an unexpected second life in the Philippines, where it became a cult hit. Ricky wasn't devastated. He took it as a sign that perhaps music wasn't his future. That's the thing about Ricky. He never forced a role that didn't fit. When one door closed, he simply wandered through another, usually one no one else noticed. That wandering led him to XFM radio in London, where he met a young intern named Stephen Merchant. What began as a casual working relationship quickly turned into one of the most iconic comedic partnerships in British entertainment. Together they created The Office, a mockumentary that was so uncomfortably real, it made audiences cringe and laugh at the same time. At first, people didn't know what to make of it. It didn't follow sitcom rules. It wasn't trying to be likable. But that was the point. Ricky gave us characters that felt painfully familiar and moments that cut too close to home. That honesty, wrapped in dry humor, hit a nerve, and The Office became a cultural phenomenon, winning awards and spawning a US adaptation that became a global hit. But Ricky wasn't about to settle into one success. He followed The Office with Extras, a comedy that dared to peel back the absurdity of fame itself. Playing Andy Millman, a struggling actor surrounded by celebrities willing to make fools of themselves, Ricky created something rare. Comedy that not only made you laugh but made you think. In Extras, as in real life, the line between self-deprecation and social commentary was razor thin. Ricky wasn't just making jokes. He was showing us how desperate, insecure, and gloriously human we all are. His next major project, Derek, took another unexpected turn. Centered on a kind-hearted care worker in a retirement home, the show invited both praise and criticism. Some found it too sentimental. Others saw it as a bold and tender exploration of vulnerability. Ricky didn't care what box it fit into. He simply told the story he wanted to tell. That's Ricky in a nutshell, unconcerned with labels, guided by gut and instinct more than market trends or critical approval. Then came Afterlife, a series that felt like Ricky's soul laid bare. The story of a grieving man trying to find meaning after the death of his wife. The show blended dark humor with profound emotion. Viewers laughed, cried, and, most importantly, felt seen. Ricky channeled raw grief into a performance that was deeply personal and universally relatable. Afterlife wasn't just a show. It was a mirror held up to loss, love, depression, and healing. Off-stage, Ricky's honesty becomes even more unfiltered. He's never shied away from controversy or complex topics. Religion, politics, identity, celebrity culture. Nothing is off-limits. For Ricky, offense is not harm. He believes the right to speak freely, even if it makes someone uncomfortable, is foundational. He said time and time again, just because something upsets you doesn't mean it shouldn't be said. That viewpoint has earned him both fierce criticism and loyal fans. His social media, especially Twitter, is a battleground of opinions. He uses it like a journal, part stand-up routine, part social commentary, part devil's playground. He makes jokes that some call brave, others call cruel. He questions ideas many won't touch. The backlash can be brutal, but Ricky sees it as proof that he's doing something right. He doesn't see cancel culture as a threat. He sees it as noise. And the louder the noise, the more determined he becomes to speak his mind. Still, behind the bluntness and sarcasm is someone who cares deeply. Especially when it comes to animals. Ricky's passion for animal welfare is genuine and well documented. He donates large sums to charities, campaigns against animal cruelty, and uses his platform to raise awareness. Critics might point to his jokes as contradictory, but Ricky believes humor and compassion aren't mutually exclusive. You can laugh at the world and still want to make it better. And while his public persona might be brash, his private life paints a softer picture. At the heart of that picture is Jane Fallon. Unlike the flashy love stories of Hollywood, Ricky and Jane's relationship is quietly extraordinary. They met in university in the early 80s and have been together ever since. No scandals. No dramatic splits. Just steady, genuine love that has lasted over 4 decades. Jane is an accomplished novelist with a career entirely her own, writing bestsellers that delve into love, betrayal, and the messy beauty of human relationships. They don't believe in marriage or having children. Not because they're afraid of commitment, but because their bond doesn't need external validation. Ricky often jokes that marriage is just a piece of paper, and they both agree that choosing each other every day means more than signing a document. Their relationship is built on trust, laughter, and mutual respect. They share values, beliefs, and perhaps most importantly, a cat they both adore. That's the kind of love story Ricky prefers. Unflashy, unrushed, and entirely real. Their lifestyle defies the usual celebrity template. No extravagant red carpets or tabloid-fueled feuds. They live in London, enjoy each other's company, and keep things blissfully simple. That simplicity is revolutionary in a world obsessed with image. Jane and Ricky prove that love doesn't need grand gestures or public performances. It just needs honesty, humor, and the freedom to be exactly who you are. This same spirit was on full display during Ricky's now infamous 2020 Golden Globes monologue. Hosting the show for the 5th time, he stepped up to the microphone and proceeded to roast the entire room. From Jeffrey Epstein to giant corporations pretending to be virtuous, Ricky called out the contradictions, the hypocrisy, and the absurdity of Hollywood's self-importance. He told celebrities to stop pretending they were moral guides and reminded them that most of them had less formal education than the people serving drinks in the room. It was brutal. It was hilarious. It was Ricky. Some applauded his courage. Others recoiled at his cruelty. But no one could ignore him. That monologue was more than just jokes. It was a cultural statement. Ricky used his platform not to curry favor, but to challenge the very industry that invited him in. He ended the night with a shrug, reminding everyone that he didn't care if he was ever invited back. And people believed him. That's the difference with Ricky. He doesn't just say he's honest. He lives it. Through every twist in his career, through every opinion that sparked outrage or applause, Ricky has never wavered from being himself. Whether he's making the world laugh, asking the hard questions, or quietly spending time with Jane, his choices reflect a deep commitment to authenticity. In an age where so many people chase approval, Ricky stands firm in his refusal to be anything other than exactly who he is. His comedy isn't just about punchlines. It's about truth. His relationship isn't just about romance. It's about respect and mutual understanding. Ricky Gervais doesn't conform. He questions. He challenges. He provokes. But he also cares, supports, and loves deeply. He's proof that you don't need to follow the script to have a meaningful life or lasting impact. So whether you agree with everything he says or not, one thing's certain, Ricky Gervais will never pretend to be someone he's not. And maybe that's why he matters. In a world obsessed with image, he's a voice that dares to be real. And sometimes, being real is the most rebellious thing of all. If you found this story interesting, insightful, or even just refreshingly different, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. There's always more to uncover behind the public faces we think we know, and we'll be right here to bring you their true stories.